I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Congresswoman Katherine Clark ripped the Republican Party during a press briefing Tuesday. This comes just days after 10 people were killed in a racially motivated shooting in Buffalo. Clark claimed the racist replacement theory is, quote, a pillar of the current GOP. Here's more from the Massachusetts Democrat.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and thank you, Chairman Jeffries, for having me here today. I thought a lot about what I was going to say to you about where we are as a caucus, as a country, and there are so many competing feelings: rage, despair, terror, as we watch the horrifying events play out in Buffalo this weekend. Just one of the mass shootings that we had in the last few days. But this one distinguished because it was hate driven. It was driven by a young man who was radicalized online by replacement theory. The idea that white Americans are being replaced. It is anti-Semitic, it is racist, and it is very destructive. And it is a pillar of the current GOP. They won't call it out. They won't apologize. They won't back off. Their agenda right now is fueled by these very forces of white supremacy, of white nationalism, and they are not changing course. I agree with the chairman. I hope that they will. But the agenda they're putting forth is very clear. And let's look at the other crisis that we are having in this country that is so interrelated. At this time, where American families are struggling with high costs, are struggling to see their place in our economy, the answer from the GOP is a ban on abortions. Not only overturning Roe, but looking and encouraging states, and if they were to win the majority, a federal ban on all abortions. I just came from a hearing with the Secretary of Labor, and we were talking about women in this economy and all the factors that hold back women: the pay gap, the fact that we do not support childcare as a public good in this country, that we are the only wealthy nation to not have a national paid leave policy, that we continue to cut healthcare opportunities for communities of color and rural communities across this country, and that we lead the way in maternal deaths, and we are well below our peers in infant mortality. All of these issues impact all women, but dramatically and disproportionately impact Black, Brown, Indigenous, and rural women. These are the exact women who seek abortion care: low-income moms. That is who seeks most care in this country. And we cannot disentangle this quest for government-mandated pregnancies from the economic outcomes for our country and for families. So while Democrats will continue to pursue economic equality for everyone in this country, what we are seeing from the GOP is that, just as the vice chair put it, it has become a prerequisite that you follow the tenets of white supremacy, mix it in with the lies around election security, mix it in with painting immigrants as evil and taking your jobs and increasing crime in your streets. Where we are headed under a GOP vision is a country in grave trouble, a country where a democracy cannot survive, where people cannot see themselves in our economy. And we as a caucus are committed every day to fighting a different fight, making sure those kitchen table issues are the priority issues, that people have the chance to move up, to be recognized, to have a fighting chance And that includes making investments in them, from making sure that we're doing everything we can to reduce the high costs for families, to making sure that we are working with equality and making sure that we are driving back white supremacy and political violence in this country. The contrast couldn't be greater, and the commitment is redoubled from our caucus so that we can make sure that everyone in this country takes those ideals of liberty and justice for all and that they become a reality. I will now turn it over to someone who's working every day to ensure that we keep the majority, our DCCC Chair, Sean Maloney.